What did you make of the Wilson trade, the compensation, the acquisition of Wilson in Denver? Obviously there's a sale of a team going on right now, and that certainly helps the Broncos try and extract more millions, if not a billion, out of somebody. What do you make of the entirety of this big deal, Joe?
That's great. We're at the point where words that begin with M don't mean anything. It's only B's, like billionaires. So, the price doesn't go up a few million; it goes up a few billion.
Right.
But anyway, listen, I applaud Denver, and at the same time, I'm not really sure it moves them up that much in their division. I mean, I like bold moves. I think they do have a good team. I usually reject the notion that they're a quarterback away from being good, but I actually think that is the case in Denver. It was bold. There's no doubt it was aggressive. I love when a general manager is more interested and willing to take a risk to make the team good, and at the same time knows that he's putting his own reputation on the line, and he's willing to do that. We don't see enough people do that, so I applaud it. I never think it's a good idea to trade away a great quarterback, and I think Russell Wilson's a great quarterback. I think he's going to get a chance to show it now. I think he is right that he's been held back by a terrible offensive line and a very conservative scheme. But the truth is, Denver's in a division with at least two teams, maybe even three, that it's going to be very, very hard to get ahead of in the standings and make the playoffs and win the division. But their choice was to sit there and just kind of accept that, or do something really bold and aggressive and try to change that. And I applaud that they did that. And I'm a huge Russell Wilson fan. I think it's a good roster, and I think they're going to just add to the dominance of the AFC. And I don't think we've ever seen. Have you ever seen this kind of imbalance of quarterback play between the two conferences? And for the next decade, it's going to be true.
No, I know. And you could take a look at the NFC with Rodgers, and obviously there's Matthew Stafford, and we'll see how many more Super Bowls if he's lucky enough to get back. Dak in the NFC, and Carson Wentz is now back in the NFC, and I want to kind of put a pin in that with you, Joe Banner, while also wondering what you think Seattle's plan is here, why this happened, and what you think John Schneider and Pete Carroll's next move may be based on your knowledge of the situation. Anyway,
well, I'm torn because on one hand, Pete could easily play the game in a way that doesn't need a dominant quarterback, although I don't think it wins you championships. That is his personality. I mean, could he be thinking he's going to go ahead with Drew Lock and try to draft somebody else and develop him and look at it again in a couple of years? Could he be sitting there with all these assets and looking at somebody like Deshaun Watson? I don't know that there's any other people he can acquire in the short term. Is he really just saying, we're going to be just okay for the next couple of years, and then we're going to, turn it around by then? Head coach, 70 years old, I can't really picture that. So I just think it's a kind of a capitulation from Seattle. An acceptance that I'm not sure they're accepting this, but my prediction would be that they're not going to be competitive even in their own division here for the immediate future. I mean, what they had in Russell is the thing everybody in the league wants, and it's the hardest thing to find. And they traded away, and they got a great package of assets. I think they got fair compensation, but when it comes to the quarterback, it's a little bit like basketball, where you have a small number of players can have a huge impact on the game. Quarterback's the same thing in the NFL. If you don't have it, you're in trouble. They don't have it, and I don't see the path to getting it. So, I understand why they did it if the relationships are broken down, but I think they're going to end up regretting it.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.